Hello everyone, and welcome to another very beautiful chess game of Paul Morphy. And in this game, Paul Morphy is playing with the black pieces. And his opponent is Adolf Anderssen, one of the strongest and the toughest players of his era. And this game was played in Paris in 1858. Adolf Anderssen starts the game with playing e4, e5, f4, king's gambit. Paul Morphy is accepting the king's gambit, e takes on f4, bishop to c4, knight to f6, e5, attacking the knight, d5, attacking the bishop, bishop to b3, knight to e4, knight to f3, bishop to g4, pinning the knight. And after this move, Adolf Anderssen castled, knight to c6, bishop to a4, pinning the knight, g5, bishop takes on c6, pawn takes bishop, d4, c5, c3, bishop to e7, b4, c takes on b4, pawn takes pawn. And also Paul Morphy castled, queen to b3, defending the pawn, rook to b8, intensifying the pressure on b4, a3, c5, knight to c3, and Paul Morphy captures the knight, knight takes knight, queen takes on c3, and after this move Paul Morphy played c takes on b4, a takes on b4, bishop takes on b4, and Paul Morphy has two extra pawns, and materially Paul Morphy is much better, and Anderssen played queen to d3, a5, h4, h6, h takes on g5, pawn takes pawn, g3, and Paul Morphy played rook to b6, rook lift, rook to a2, rook to g6, lining the rook with the king, rook to g2 by Adolf Anderssen, and I don't know why Adolf Anderssen played rook to g2, and this was a big blunder by Adolf Anderssen. It was a very bad move. So Paul Morphy played, after rook to g2, a very obvious move. Well, what would you do in this position if you had the black pieces? Well, Paul Morphy simply played bishop to h3, attacking both of the rooks at the same time. The more accurate play was g takes on f4 according to the chess engine. So bishop to h3, f5, rook to g7, f6, bishop takes rook, queen takes on f1, rook to g6, knight takes on g5. If queen to c8, rook to g2, queen to c3, but after knight to e6, black is only slightly better, even though black has the exchange. This is not winning for black. But Anderssen didn't solve that variation, and he played rook to g2. So we have bishop to h3, e6, bishop takes on g2, and Paul Morphy is winning the exchange. E takes on f7 check, and in this position, of course, Paul Morphy didn't capture the pawn with the rook, so queen takes rook on g6 if rook takes pawn. And Paul Morphy simply played king to g7, and then Anderssen finally captures the bishop with the king, queen to c8, knight to e5, rook to h6. Paul Morphy is planning to attack in this deadly open h-file. G takes on f4, but then rook from f to h8. And how to defend the h-file? Well, there is no way, so Adolf Anderssen desperately played f takes on g5, capturing another pawn. But then Paul Morphy played rook to h2, king to g1, rook to h1, king to f2, and then rook to h2, that's check. King to e3, rook to h3. Anderssen is blocking with the knight, knight to f3. So this is the most beautiful part of the game. And only because of this Very beautiful finish by Paul Morphy. I decided to choose this game to demonstrate. So this is the most exciting part of this chess game. And Paul Morphy played a very beautiful move. And can you guess the next move of Paul Morphy? Paul Morphy captured the knight with the rook. Rook takes on f3, sacrificed the exchange. And Anderssen captured the rook with the rook. Rook takes on f3. If king takes on f3, then queen to h3, king to e2. Queen takes on f1, king to e3, rook to h3. And that's checkmate. If king to f4, then bishop to d6, and that's checkmate on the spot. If king to f2, then rook to h2, king to g1, rook to g2, or queen to g2, it doesn't matter. That's checkmate again. This is checkmate. What an incredible attack by Paul Morphy. So rook takes rook on f3, and then queen takes on c1 by Paul Morphy. And after Paul Morphy captured the bishop with the queen, Adolf Anderssen resigns. So the possible continuation, if king to f2, queen to g1, king to e2, queen to e1, that's checkmate. After queen takes bishop, there is no defense, and white is getting checkmated. So another very beautiful chess game by Paul Morphy. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, and bye bye for now.